What's good, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and this Saturday we have another UFC pay-per-view. It's UFC 307, and it's a really good card. And this Friday I'm going to be talking about the main event, Alex Pereira versus Killian Roundtree, in its own separate video. But in this video I want to talk about the whole card. I'm going to be talking about Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley, Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland, Kayla Harrison versus Ketlen Vieira, Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista, and Juliana Pena versus Raquel Pennington. Giving my prediction for all those fights. But with all that being said, let's get right into Joaquin Buckley versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Now, Stephen Thompson is actually one of my favorite fighters ever in MMA. He's got such an incredible style. He's a great guy outside the cage. He's awesome, right? But I think he's gonna lose this fight. I think that Buckley is gonna come out there with a grappling heavy approach. He showed his grappling off in his last two fights, actually, when he took on Vicente Luque. He was able to show some good takedowns. He had some good ground and pound as well. I can't remember the name of his last opponent, but I think he was from Uzbekistan, and he was able to take him down. The dude was 6'5", and Buckley was closing the distance and getting some explosive takedowns on him. And I feel like Stephen Thompson, his takedown defense, we've seen Bilal take him down and kind of ragdoll him. We did see Shafkat struggle a bit with getting his takedowns, but if anything, throughout his career, his takedown defense has been the thing that has significantly took a hit. And I think Buckley is gonna just win a decision here, take Wonderboy down. He's not gonna test the striking too much, but on the striking, he does keep his hands up. He moves around quite a bit, and he's not going to be as stationary as guys like Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal. So I think he's going to sadly beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson by a decision here. Then we have Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. In this fight, I think that Roman Dolidze is going to beat Kevin Holland. I think he's going to be too big for him. I think he's going to look kind of like the Marvin Vettori fight where, he's landing a couple strikes on Kevin Holland, but mainly using a grappling approach. And yeah, I feel like Kevin Holland, he should have stayed in the welterweight division. He did have that bad performance against MVP, but that just goes to show how good Michael Venom Page is. It's not really a reflection on how bad you are, especially considering how MVP was able to outstrike even a guy like Ian Gary and had to make him resort to grappling. So I think that Kevin Holland's real weight class should be 170. Maybe he doesn't like to cut weight. I don't know. But yeah, I don't like him being in the middleweight division. I think he's too small. And these guys are just going to take him down and just hold him down. And he won't really be able to do that much about it. But yeah, I think we're going to see another decision. But moving on to Kayla Harrison versus Ketlen Vieira. And I think that Kayla Harrison is going to win. I think she's going to be too big and too strong. And I think she's just going to dominate Ketlen Vieira. I thought that Ketlen Vieira was a really bad fighter when she lost to Raquel Pennington, but Raquel's a champion, so I think that she is fairly good, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. I think her striking is alright. I think that her takedown defense is, to be fair, it's not bad, but Miesha Tate was getting some takedowns on her, when she came out of a 5-year retirement. But yeah, I think that Kayla Harrison's going to win, and I think that I personally believe that she's on steroids. I think that gym, American Top Team, is one of those gyms where, most fighters on there are on something. I remember Chael Sonnen talking about how there's 2 super gyms that had all the fighters in there basically using steroids, and I think that this is one of them. And maybe not all the fighters there are using something, but I feel like Kayla Harrison is definitely using something. I mean, her last loss, she lost to another female fighter who looked like was on steroids too, and I don't think that Ketlen Vieira is on anything. I don't think she's using anything, so I think that Kayla Harrison is just gonna dominate her. She's gonna bully her in there, and yeah, comfortable win, and then she'll fight for the title. Then we move on to the feature fight between Jose Aldo Jr. and Mario Bautista, and I think that Jose Aldo is going to get a stoppage in the 3rd round. I think he's going to TKO Mario. I think that Jose Aldo is a far better striker, even at his older age. And Mario is not going to be able to take him down at all. Jose Aldo has some of the best takedown defense. I mean, look at his fight versus Merab. Merab couldn't get a single takedown on him. And look at what he did to Sugar Sean O'Malley. So I think that, yeah, Jose Aldo is going to bully Mario Bautista. I mean, he's seen it all out there. He's got a ton of experience. And I think that the King of Rio is going to get another dominant win in this fight. And then we got the co-main event of the night. And it's going to be Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena. And, you know, I think that Raquel Pennington is going to beat Juliana Pena. I think this is going to be a pretty dull fight. I don't think there's going to be anything too exciting in their fight. But I think that at the press conference, it could potentially be exciting because Juliana Pena is probably going to talk some trash to Kayla Harrison. And also, Juliana and Raquel, I think they've had some beef. They were on the same season of The Ultimate Fighter. And apparently that fight was like in the making for like 10 years. And they don't like each other. And the other fighters on the card, well, Alex Pereira, he doesn't speak English. He's probably going to be like, chama, 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 chama. And then Khalil Rountree, he's a nice guy, right? He's not going to talk any trash. Then you got Jose Aldo, who doesn't speak English. Mario Bautista is going to be, he's literally going to say, I'm honored to fight a legend in Jose Aldo. And I can't wait for Saturday night. Then you got Kevin Holland. He might make a joke here and there, but he's going to be respectful towards Roman Dolidze. And he's probably going to make a joke about how he can't defend takedowns or something like that. And then you got Kevin Vieira, who doesn't speak English. Kayla Harrison and, yeah, Juliana Pena might go at it because Juliana Pena did accuse Kayla Harrison of using steroids, which I agree with her. But, yeah, they clearly don't like each other. And, yeah, they'll make the press conference exciting. But getting back to this fight, I feel like, yeah, Raquel is going to be out striking Juliana Pena and defending takedowns for 5 rounds. I think that there's going to be quite a bit of time spent in the clinch as well. And, like, yeah, that's just the reality of it. I think Raquel Pennington is a far better striker. Juliana Pena, like, it's crazy sometimes just looking at her, like, strike. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful because, obviously, like, the UFC is, like, the toughest organization to get into. But, yeah, it just looks very, very awkward. It's, like, sometimes I look at Dricus du Plessis and I'm like, yeah, like, his striking looks odd, but I can understand why it's effective. And with Juliana Pena, it's like, it looks odd, and I don't really understand how it's effective. Maybe it's just, like, so unexpected that, you know, it kind of catches you off guard. And that's part of what happened with Amanda Nunes in both fights. Because in their first fight, you know, to be fair, she did have a pretty good jab. She was, like, tagging Nunes up with it quite a bit. And then in their second fight, at the end of the fight, Amanda looked like she had just been in a car accident, which is pretty insane for a fight that a judge saw as 50-43. Like, her face looked really swollen. She looked really beaten up. And, yeah. But, yeah, I think Raquel is, yeah, got far better striking. She's going to defend the takedowns. And, yeah, it's definitely not going to be the fight of the night. If it is, and that is actually going to be shocking. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think about these predictions. I'm really looking forward to this whole card. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be at Salt Lake City in Utah. And who knows? Last 2 times the UFC went to Utah, we saw a massive, well, okay, maybe the first time was like a massive underdog win with a head kick. And then in the second time they went to Utah, I think it was again an underdog win via head kick. And who knows, maybe it could happen again this Saturday. We saw Leon Edwards, we saw Justin Gaethje. We could see Khalil Rountree, I don't know. But be sure to tune in this Friday for my prediction for the main event. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your predictions down below. And God bless.